Hi, my name is David Brennan with Safety Evolution. Today I want to talk to you about behavioral observations. One of the big challenges with them is that people don't see the value in them. They don't want to do them mostly. So how do you actually do that? How do you get them to buy in so that they're interested in it, they see value in it, and it becomes personal to them? So that's going to be the biggest opportunity for your business, is to create a culture where you have continuous improvement and that your people actually believe in the processes that you're doing because they've seen that they actually work. So as you guys know, worked in oil and gas for a very long time, worked on major projects. The very first time I ran into behavioral observations was at Synovus, and I remember in those days I didn't really buy into it either. They had a great rollout, but it just seemed like a lot of extra work, didn't really have a great value add in our minds to what we were doing. So after many years in safety, you learn that this stuff actually does have a great value, and the only way you're actually going to get your team to do it is if you show them that value in the beginning. So what we do in this, the way that we train companies here at Safety Evolution, is to make sure that they start with the communication process. We need to make sure that when we communicate out to the workers, it's not just about the you have to do this, you have to do this, and the clinical side of training where, you know, step 1, step 2, step 3. We really want to start that communication with why we're doing it. What's the end goal? What are we expecting to achieve when we see this at the end of the year? And that way, when they actually start to do this process, they're going to be bought into it because they want to see the successes for the company as well. So when you're doing observations, it's really, really important to get past the stigma that it's an art card, that you are using it to try and catch people, that your company is you know, trying to dig into what they're doing wrong. That's not the purpose of it. What we're really trying to find out is what types of behaviors do we have in our workforce, first of all, that we can encourage, as well as which behaviors do we have in our workforce that we can change and modify so that our workforce becomes better at what they do. Once you communicate this to your workforce, you'll be able to have a much higher level of buy-in from your team. So when we look at actually doing behavioral observations, it's really important to start off so that people know. I've seen a lot of safety people, managers, you know, sitting off in the distance with their clipboard out and making notes, and all you're really doing is making everybody on your work site incredibly nervous, and you're creating an attitude of fear with your people. So if you're going to implement an observation program, you need to make sure that when you're doing observations that everybody's bought in, that you go and you're talking to the workers, that they're involved in the observation process, that they're talking to you and telling you about the things that they're seeing, because more than likely they know what behaviors should be done, the way the job should be done, much better than you'll ever know how to do it. So lean on them, make it their process. The more that we bring the workers into the process and the more that they actually take ownership of it, the better you'll see the end result. And the last part of the observation, of course, is to make sure that you're reviewing it with your workforce. Before you walk away, you need to have those conversations with them that says, you know, this is what we saw that was really good. What did you guys see that you think we could have done better? Where do you think the risk was? Where can you give us advice on doing this job better, that we can spread this across the whole company so everybody can see? That's the field level side of it. Of course, it's also very important that once you do these observations that you're actually following through with it, that you're communicating this information out. Put it in your learning management system. Start communicating it out to your teams in safety meetings. Start making sure that everybody knows what's happening and better ways that they can do their job, and celebrate the wins. That's a big one. I think lots of times we get caught up in the idea that we have to, we're always looking for something that's wrong. You know, there's a lot of really, really good work being done in your company. There's a lot of really good people there. Celebrate the wins. Make sure that they know that they're doing a great job, and encourage them to get better at what they're doing. My favorite one is that for this is that it's a rat card system, that it's really just, you're just there to catch your workers and show when they're doing something wrong. That is not in any way what a behavioral observation program is about. It's really about making sure that your team knows how to do their job, that you're verifying it, that their behaviors are the way that you need them to be to do that job, that they're safe, that they're not rushing, that they're watching each other, they're communicating. That's what behavioral observations really are all about. So make sure that you communicate those, you observe, that you observe your team. Make sure when you're observing them that they know what's going on, they're part of the process. You know, we're not sitting there with binoculars out in the distance watching our team. That's not the way to go. Make sure you're in there with them, that you're also reviewing at the end so that you can learn from them, because I'm telling you, they have a lot of information that can really help you in your day-to-day operations. Thank you very much for watching this video, and you guys have a great day.